first can you tell me from like where each one of these amazing pieces are from? Okay,
Absolutely.
So this.
Both of these pieces here are Navajo. And so let me just back up here and say, basically there's 4 styles of Native American jewelry that we associate with the jewelry that comes out of the Southwest. And the 4 tribal styles are Navajo, Zuni, Hopi, and Santo Domingo. So these pieces right here are Navajo. And how you sort of recognize Navajo jewelry to start with is the Navajo people, or the Dene, are the silversmiths. They do beautiful, incredible, one-of-a-kind silver work, and they love to use turquoise to embellish their silver work. So when you see a piece that's kind of...
So, just a, does turquoise mean something to them? Like, as far as a color or what does the stone mean?
Okay, that's a very good question. Turquoise obviously comes from the ground. It comes from the earth. It's a byproduct of copper mining. And so long before white men ever came to this country, the native people were taking turquoise out of the ground. And they saw it as something beautiful. They saw it as part of the earth. And turquoise comes in both green and blue, and every variation of it. And the green, it means that there's more iron content in the stone, and blue means there's more copper content. And so native people would say, native people have told me, I should say, is that, green is the color of grass, blue is the color of the sky. One isn't better than the other, and it really comes down to preference. There's a very beautiful high-quality green turquoise, and there's a very beautiful high-quality blue turquoise.
But it isn't like, like turquoise is the symbol of, I don't know, of the earth meets the sky or something like that.
I think, I'm always very, very careful not to apply sort of a new age interpretation on top of native people, because, and of course, and this is a good time to say, there's no such thing as one native voice. Native people are this, or Native people believe this.
Right.
We have 500 distinct Native American nations or tribes in this country. And each one is a sovereign nation and an entity of itself. And so what might mean something or be symbolic to one Native tribe doesn't necessarily mean it's symbolic or meaningful to another Native tribe. So there's no one collective Native voice per se, although there's certainly a thread that runs through that one can say, the earth and nature and, the symbols of those things are meaningful. And I think that would be a fair statement to say. So what does turquoise mean? I'll give you a quote by Wes Willey, who's a Native American artist, a jeweler that I work with, and he told me one time, he said, Janet, when we wear or carry turquoise, the holy ones can always find us. And so
awesome.
I look at turquoise as something that's very, very important and very much a part of the heart of my Native jewelers.
So tell me, so let's go back to the 4 different classes or types of jewelry that you were telling me.
So starting here, all 4 of these pieces right here, and these actually, are Navajo. Kind of chunky, beautiful silver work, embellished with amazing turquoise, in some cases hand-stamped or, using different kinds of turquoise. And so when you see a lot of silver work embellished with turquoise, chances are you're looking at Navajo jewelry.
So, this is what really drew me
It's
to Native. The squash blossom, which is what you're wearing
That's what
now.
I'm wearing. Mm-hmm.
So, now I read somewhere that the Navajo actually learned their art from Mexican silver traders in the mid 1800s.
Right. Yep.
So, tell me about that.
Well, yes, the Navajo people in the Southwest were influenced and taught how to do silver work from south of the border, and they took to it in a really crazy way and made it their own. And the squash blossom style and what I'm wearing and this that is the iconic style that we associate with the Native people of the Southwest. The upside down horseshoe is referred to as a naja. Some people say that was influenced by the bridles that the Spanish people would have on their horses. They had beautiful silver work bridles And the Native people of the Southwest saw those horses as symbols of power and all this silver work.
Did
and
they
everything.
have horses? Did the Navajo
Well,
have horses?
no, the horses were introduced to them. They
By
had-
the same
yes, by
Mexican-
the Spanish. By the Spanish.
By the Spanish?
Yes.
By the Spanish.
Well, yeah, I mean, by the people south of the border, the Spanish
Okay,
and the Mexicans,
okay,
the
okay.
so the horses were brought in, and of course that completely changed
Did they
their
end
life.
Did they end up using the
Absolutely,
horses?
absolutely. And the Navajo people are some of the best horsemen. I mean, they're
Really?
Yeah.
But that's sort of relatively new to their culture.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow. So do you know when the horse was introduced? You don't know.
Not off
Okay.
the top of my head.
Right,
No,
right,
I
right.
don't. If
Okay.
I thought about it for a
So-
minute, I could pull it. But anyway, so back to
Right.
the jewelry. So this is a squash blossom necklace, and this is what is a very iconic style that we associate with the Navajo, and it's the one, if somebody's wearing a
is
squash
amazing.
blossom, everybody knows what that is.
So is this part the squash blossom?
Yes,
or
this
is-
the whole necklace is called the squash blossom, but this little part here is sort of believed to be reminiscent of the actual blossom of a squash or a cactus plant. So that's where that comes from. And all sterling silver. They work with sterling silver. That is the metal.
And all of this is hand done
That is
inlay.
Mm-hmm. No, this is not inlay. This would be called scroll work.
Scroll work. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get to inlay in a minute.
Yeah. So okay. So
Okay,
we're
so
moving
that's
on.
a little bit about Navajo. So now Zuni, I have a couple pieces. Let's clump them here together. I'm going to clump. Okay, so the Zuni people are Pueblo people. They live in their Pueblo. Zuni is one of the Pueblos, and it is right off basically the Arizona-New Mexico border, just south of Gallup, New Mexico, is where the Zuni Reservation or the Zuni Pueblo is.
Wow.
They are known as kind of the stone cutters. They are incredibly talented, precise stone cutters, and their work can be very delicate. This is called needlepoint.
I'm so moved by this.
This is called petty point, the little round stone cuts, and this is called inlay. And so just starting with the inlay, so you have so all the silver work is hand done in this piece. Each silver channel is hand cut and soldered down in together, and then all of the stones, the mother of pearl, the turquoise, the coral, the black jet, are precisely cut perfectly to fit down into those channels. It is an incredibly labor-intensive and amazingly challenging type of work to do.
So I've seen this motif a lot. Is this a motif is it a symbol of like the sun?
It's the sun.
Or
It's the sun, yes.
And what about this symbol on the inside?
The face of the sun, basically. This is the sun, the face of the sun.
And is this like part of a legend of the Zuni? Like, is it?
It just comes down to being a design that they have incorporated into a lot of their jewelry historically. I mean, the sun face is an iconic Zuni symbol in jewelry, and in this case, they've used the four popular stones. The Zunis are known for using mainly white mother of pearl, turquoise, and then the red coral and black jet, which is a form of coal. And the coral, the real dark red coral, a lot of it comes from the Mediterranean, but the people of the Southwest use coral historically and prehistorically because it was a trade route between California and the desert area. So coral came in to the Southwest, and spiny oyster shell came into the Southwest, and they were using it in jewelry long before they ever even used silver.
So they would use it like in this sort
In
of
that type of a form, exactly.
In this
something
type of
like
a
that,
form.
and that happens to be a Santo Domingo piece.
This is
Yes,
amazing.
Yes, turquoise.
I love it.
Again, just to finish up the Zuni, so this is the two styles: inlay, and then the small cuts, petty point and needlepoint, and again a squash blossom. So different tribes of the Southwest use squash blossoms.
So, from what I understand, the Zuni were taught how to do silver by the Navajo. Is that correct?
Did a Navajo tell you that? Because I don't know if the Zuni would agree with that.
Really? That's interesting. I read that. I read that on a like a site where they sort of went through all of the history of how silver makers, Native American silver makers became that
I'm
doing what they're
going to
doing.
take the diplomatic out and say, you get a Navajo and a Zuni together and you ask them that question.
Really? That's really interesting because I just
There's
thought...
a lot of thoughts, of course, and it could be very historically correct. But I mean, I would, to err on the side of just, they're incredibly both talented nations.
So there isn't really one came first or whatever. It just happened. They both learned from the same Mexican soldier.
I actually think most people would say that, you know, that the Navajos were the ones that kind of started the native jewelry, and other nations were influenced by that. I think that's probably historically accurate to say, but
Interesting.